Hey y'all, it's K Divine. I'm up, well, yeah, I am up a little bit earlier than I usually am. I wake up around this time, but usually I don't get up and start moving. I usually kind of laze around, but today I just felt like I need to get up and get and go and start getting my routine done and out the way because things are going to be a little bit different this weekend for me. But I've been thinking a lot lately, especially like after I've been making all these videos of my series on Who Set Me Up. And I will apologize for those just because there's so many details in each of those stories that I forget as I'm doing them because it's just so much that has happened in such a small amount of time. And then but also it's been a long time coming, this stuff has been happening to me for a very, very long time, right? So I have to deal with that. I have to deal with the the aftermath of everything because that's just what's happening right now. So I apologize. There's a lot of details, but I hope I give enough details so that you guys can discern whether or not you feel like all these people are involved. I believe they're all involved. I still have more to make about that, but let's get on with this video. Sorry, hold on. There's a helicopter going on. Okay. So I want to talk about something that I think a lot of you may be able to relate to right now, especially those of you who've been like, if you're chosen, if you've been gang stalked, if you've been harassed and all these things. I feel like you can relate to this. If you've never seen the movie The Truman Show with Jim Carrey, I urge you to go watch that movie. It's on Tubi right now, and Tubi is free, so go watch it. It's on Tubi. And the basis of the show is, they literally say it in there too. A corporation adopted a baby. So Truman was an unwanted pregnancy, and the mother was planning on giving the baby up for adoption anyways. This television corporation was creating this show where it was going to have a whole bunch of hidden cameras. They had this big, ginormous studio that they had him in, and he was on camera from in utero, and they created this life for him. His family wasn't his family. The place that he lived in was a studio. He didn't even know. Even to the point where when he was in school, he was like, I want to be an explorer. And the teacher was like, oh, you're too late. Everything's already been discovered. And it's like what? His friends were staged. His wife, it was staged. He didn't get to really he didn't have autonomy. Thank you, Spirit. He didn't have any autonomy, really. Everything that happened in his life was orchestrated. And it's even funny because his friend Marlon, his best friend, did it in the beginning of the movie, is in the midst of doing an interview, and he was like, it's not fake. He's like, it's controlled. And it's like, it is fake because none of you are real. This isn't a real place. Truman's job wasn't real. His money wasn't real. His wife, he even saw a picture of her when they were getting married, and she crossed her fingers, and he was looking at it like, they're actors. They had technology where they had all of these little mini hidden cameras everywhere. And the reason why I'm bringing up this movie is because you're Truman Burbank. Welcome to the Truman Show. If you go watch the movie, and this is an old movie, I think this movie came out in the late 90s or something like that. Because this is one of my favorite Jim Carrey movies. So that Liar Liar and the one he did with Kate Winslet. But you're Truman Burbank. Everything about your life so far has been fake and orchestrated. Your friends haven't really ever been your friends. Your family, some of y'all, I know, like, I feel like only people who understand what's really going on right now, I feel like only those people are going to really understand what I'm saying. For some of us, our family is not our real family. And I mean that. Like, there may have been a secret adoption or something like that. Like, or like there's some family secrets, okay? There are some family secrets about who you truly are, and your mom is not really your mama. Your sister and your brother is not really your sister and brother. Because, I mean, for me, personally, I've been coming into I'm starting to believe that my family may not be my family. And I'm believing this because my mother, well, I don't want to just say her. Well, I'll just say in general, I'm the lightest person in my family, right? I'm the lightest skin out of all of my family. We're all different shades of brown, but I'm the lightest. And I don't understand why. I feel like with all those people being able to turn against me so quickly, so easily, I can't be kin to them, because they want to do that to one another, but they did it to me. So I'm like, man, they may not actually be my real family. Like, something may have, I don't know what happened when I was younger. I have no idea. My mama never really had a good relationship with me. It's almost like she never really wanted me. So I don't know. My mom used to, I think I've said this before in the one I talked about, the part series I talked about my mama. She used to tell me, like, this Kayla's broken. I'm going to go get another one. She used to say stuff like that, and I'm like, is there another Kayla you can go get? Like, she really did not like me because of all I had allergies and I was sick a lot as a kid. But granted, she was the one making me sick. I mean, part of it, like having eczema and stuff like that, that's genetic. There's really nothing you can do about that. But, like, as far as me always being sick, like, every year for the majority of my life up until maybe a couple of years ago, probably up until about COVID or so, I got sick at least twice a year. Like, I would have like some sort of flu or the cold or something like that. I always was getting sick. But it wasn't until after COVID, being isolated for a while, not being around a whole bunch of people, but also just changing my diet and things of that nature, that's when I stopped getting sick as often. And I don't think that that's a coincidence. When I started eating better and started taking care of myself better, I stopped getting sick. But anywho, let's get back to your family's not your family for some of you. And for others, your family they're just karmics. So you were born into a karmic family. Your friends, a lot of your friends were staged. They were paid actors, essentially. They were promised things and given things for being close to you so that they could go back to whomever was at the head of this and give them information that they needed. Because the goal was always to keep you down. If you go watch the Truman Show, they did an interview with the creator of the show. And at this point, Truman's like 30 years old. So the show has been running for 30 years. And the interviewer asked, like, well, what makes you think that that the show has been able to run this long without Truman, finding out the truth and what's really happening? And he was like, well, we usually accept the reality that we're given. And if that's not a true statement, because a lot of times, if someone tells you this is your mom, this is your dad, this is your brother, this is your sister, when you're a child, you have no other reason not to believe that that's not true. Even if you do feel outside, like, of the family, even if you do feel like you don't belong, you're not really gonna question that and say, like, well, this is the only family I've ever known. Living in the city that you grew up in, this is the only city I've ever known. Having the friends that you've had since elementary school, since middle school, in high school, well, these are the only people I've ever known. Why would they be fake? Why would they be paid actors? Like, why would that happen? You don't want to believe that stuff because it's like a lot of that shit doesn't make sense. But what I'm starting to see, especially because I'm like also just watching other content with other chosen ones right now, and a lot of them are talking about how they were gang stalked in school. And now I'm starting to think, like, you know what? I wasn't really conscious back in school. Now in college, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive that, like, I think that's how my ex was able to track me down and figure out who I was, if I'm being honest, because he was trying, like I said in my videos, if you go watch them, he was trying to talk to me for a few years, for at least 4, like on and off, from like 2018 to 2022 when I actually gave him a chance. Like, it was a long time. So I guess you gotta, people be so interested when I be recording. This dude was driving, like, then turned his whole goddamn head looking at me. So you're Truman. This is the Truman Show. And these people are upset. Hold on. Had to run across the street. But these people are upset because Truman's not playing anymore. Truman's not going along with the flow anymore. And if you go watch the movie, when Truman started questioning things, because in the very beginning, as he was going off to work, there was a light that fell and broke in the street. And he was looking like, where the hell did that come from? You know? And after that, he started really looking at stuff and questioning stuff. The guy who played his dad had came back onto the set somehow, was looking like a homeless man. And then they, like, ushered him away, and everybody was trying to convince Truman that he was having a mental breakdown and that he was going crazy and all this other stuff. Like, the Meryl, the lady who played his wife, she was acting weird, and he started clocking it, and he's just like, you don't even like me, and I don't even, like, why do you want to have a baby with me? And she's just like, oh, that's not true. I love you. What are you, just playing the whole game. And then when he started getting, like, onto her, they ended up removing her, and she moved out and all this other stuff. If you go watch the movie, you'll see. I'm telling you the whole movie, but you got to watch it for yourself to really grasp the full thing if you haven't seen it before. But when Truman stopped playing along with the situation and started really questioning reality and saying, like, this just, like, everyone is in on it. That's really what got me when I was watching it, was like, everyone is in on it. And it's true, because they are. This is probably why you're alone right now. And you feel alone too, because the people who were supposed to be your friends, the people who were supposed to be your family, everyone has been lying to you about how they truly feel about you, at the very least. For some of us, it's a lot deeper than that. Like I said, for some of you, your family may not be your real family. So, like I said, some family secrets that need to come out. And because we're talking about, like, a stolen inheritance. And in the Truman Show, in a way, he did have a stolen inheritance, because he had his whole entire life stolen from him. He was 30 years old. How do you reckon with that at the age of 30? Like, I'm 29 right now. And that's basically what's happening. Like, waking up one day and realizing my whole life has been a lie. I live in a studio, a humongous studio that was built around me. to keep me stuck here for the rest of my days. And that's basically what your karmic family was trying to do. Your karmic family was trying to keep you stuck and trapped and low vibrational for all your years to come. They didn't want you awakening. They didn't want you getting better. They didn't want you seeing the light. They didn't want you talking to the Most High and starting to see your true potential. They wanted you to stay stuck. They wanted you to have a whole bunch of babies by different people. And that's interchangeable between men and women. They wanted you to have a whole bunch of babies by a whole bunch of different people, have you working your tail off every day, just trying to provide and feed these kids. They wanted you to struggle. A lot of them wanted you homeless out on the streets. A lot of these people, they wanted and needed your downfall so that they felt like they could win. But that's the fucked up part about this. That the only way that these people feel like they could win is if you failed. Ain't that something? And think about it when it comes down to Truman. The only way that the show was going to ever be able to go on is if he didn't question anything. If he just was like, well, this is just my life and I'm just going to keep going with it. If that's what he was choosing to do, then he would have sat there for the rest of his days miserable. But he wanted to leave. He wanted to go to Fiji. He wanted to go and travel the world. But he couldn't because they kept him stuck. It's crazy to me. But you're Truman. Like, and these gang stalkers, like whoever's at the head of the gang stalking for you, they're furious right now. And when I say they're furious because they have to keep recruiting more and more people to come and watch you. Because people aren't even sticking around to watch you because it's boring. Like, some of these people are cool with getting paid with that, whatever they're getting paid. Okay, because the gang stalkers are getting paid, okay? These people are not just sitting out here just to sit out here. They are getting paid, okay? Some of them are cool with the money because they're like, well, I'll sit out in my car all day and night, and that doesn't bother me. I'll do that. They'll go do it because they cool with the money. But other people are like, I got other things to do. And it's kind of funny. That's why I think that the majority of the people who gang stalk me are older. Like, they're older. They might be retired. They don't really have anything else going on with themselves. Because like I told y'all in one of my last videos, I noticed one of my gang stalkers has a walker. And like, I saw him sitting out his car, I saw him sitting in his front seat with his legs outside, and I'm like, his legs look very swollen. So I was like, I think this man has high blood pressure. He got some issues with his legs. Obviously he has a walker. And it's like, but he's been sitting out here for 7 weeks watching me sitting in his car the majority of the time. He don't really get up and walk around or nothing like that. He, for the most part, sits in his car. So I'm sure a man of his age who has health issues is having issues with his legs now, because all you're doing is sitting around in your car. I get up and walk every day. So it's like, it's kind of crazy to me when you think about it, because it's like, I don't think these people fully grasp the concept and idea of, like, just how staged and that's how you know those people are soulless, because it's staged. None of this is real. Everything that they made up about you is fake. Literally everything. All the lies that they told people about you. Like I said in one of my last videos, y'all missed out on opportunities because people were going around telling lies about you. People were going around telling people that you were no good, that you weren't that smart, that you weren't worth it, that you weren't worth the job, that they can find somebody better, they can get someone better to do it. That's literally what they've been telling people. They told people that you were on drugs. They told people that you were alcoholic. They told people that you were promiscuous and that you couldn't be trusted. Oh no, she slept with my husband. Oh no, he was flirting with my wife in front of me. Like, just making up just these frivolous, stupid little lies just to piss you off. Just to ruin you, just to stop your forward movement. That's all they wanted to do. They were not interested in giving you your fair shot, because they felt like your forward movement would be their downfall. I mean, because look at Truman. Truman finding out the truth means that the show ends. And these people stopped generating money, because the show was literally like a 24/7 show. It was something that ran for 24 hours a day. Sorry, gotta be careful. I'm passing by geese and they give me the willies a little bit because they're a little aggressive. I've been chased by a goose before. Anyways, so, you know, if the show would have ended if Truman, the show ends when Truman finds out what's going on. They even had little buttons for people that says, how will it end? How will it end? Because it's like, is he gonna die here? Is he gonna figure out what's going on? And so there was a girl who tried to tell him when he was in high school what was going on, and that didn't work out. They ushered her away, sent her away. I think they ended up being reunited. But it's like I said, like, how do we reckon with this? That our whole lives were lies. We just really, at this point, you just have to pray about it, because it's like, it is a tough pill to swallow. I'm not even gonna lie, because I've cried about it a few times now, where I'm just like, wow, my whole entire life has been a lie. The people who I thought who loved me don't love me. My friends who I thought was gonna ride for me have never rode for me. The only reason why they was sticking around is because they was getting something out of it. And now that I'm gone, people are now that you're gone, people, you got, like I said, I'm just saying, you are on the minds of a lot of people. Your cutoff game is ruthless, and a lot of people did not expect that. A lot of people expected you to go through all of this, and they thought that you was gonna be calling them and going on, social media, having breakdowns and all this other stuff. That's what they thought was gonna happen. That's why, I don't know about y'all, but I had an influx of people coming on to my Facebook page, like, out of nowhere. I was like, who are these people? People from high school, people from college, people from, I don't even know, people who I've never met before, looking at my page, trying to figure out like like they was waiting, like they were all waiting for something, for me to post something, for something to happen. And it's just like, if all these people were waiting for me to come on there and be like, I'm being harassed, and it's like everyone was waiting for a mental breakdown from me so they could all watch my downfall. And it was like, that's how I know all this stuff is staged, because it's like that's what they want me to believe. They want me to believe that I'm crazy, but it's like I can't be, because I see things too clearly. And the Most High was very clear to me about what was going on. And people can say like that's delusional, but it's like, so it's cool for Christians to go around saying that, well, the Lord came to me and told me X, Y, Z, but me saying that I have conversations with the Most High and he told me that this is what was happening to me, and he gave me confirmation after confirmation after confirmation after confirmation. Yeah, nah. I believe we have a creator. I believe in the Most High, and I believe that the Most High is guiding every single last one of us who is watching this channel. So, I say all this to say, welcome to the Truman Show. And they're mad because Truman is no longer playing along. That's what I'm saying. Your gang stalkers are bored. They was hoping that you was going to be lashing out and stuff. They was hoping to see you. These people have been waiting for a long time to see you go to jail, or go to a mental hospital or something like that. They've been waiting for a crash out from you. That's what they've been waiting for. And they're upset that it hasn't happened yet. And it's like some of these people, they feel like they feel like they can't stop messing with you until they get what they want. And even then I feel like they still are going to be obsessed with still trying to mess with you, because these people are just that type of crazy. These people are just that type of delusional. They think that they're above the law. They think that like this is a pure human rights violation, because some of us have lost everything behind these people who have done everything they can do to destroy our lives. So it's like, and I mean, for me, like, I can't really get a job because every time I go somewhere or do something, somebody comes in and causes chaos and makes it so that people look at me differently, and you know and they tell lies about me, and people start treating me funny. So it's like, what can I do? I'm not gonna stay in a job and be bullied by the managers. I'm not gonna be bullied by other people just to make some money. When I did have some money to, when I was living in hotels, which I could have still been living, if those people didn't mess with me, I still could have been living in one of the first hotels I was in. I was living in an extended stay, and that worked for me at the time because it was basically like a little studio apartment in a way. I had a full refrigerator, I had a stove and an oven. So, it's like I was able to cook for myself. I had went to one of the pantries that they have out in Ann Arbor, and they loaded me up the first time I went in my car. The first time I had to walk. Well, I took the bus with Mila, and that was an very interesting day. But either way, but when I was able to drive there, they loaded me up with stuff. They gave me a whole bunch of vegetables. They gave me a lot of different stuff. And so it was, I was able to eat for a while. I was like, I don't even need to go to this pantry every week. I could go every 2 weeks, go to the grocery store and get a few smaller items, go to the dollar store, get a few small items, and I was good to go. I was definitely saving money. And I could, like I said, I could have been still living like that. I could have been okay. I could have been rebuilding from there. But those people didn't even want me to do that. So they made sure that everywhere that I went, they made sure every single place that I went, and I travel all around Michigan, and I'll get into that because I'm going to expose every single hotel that participated. That's going to be one of that's going to be one of the parts in this series. Every single hotel that was involved, I will expose them, so that y'all know who they are, because they're all going to be a part of this lawsuit when this is all said and done, every single one of them. So welcome to the Truman Show, and it's coming to an end, and they don't want it to end. They don't want it to end, guys. They want it to keep going. They want you to continue to suffer, because they just don't want to see you prosper. They feel like the minute that you get a little bit of money, the minute that you get a little bit of recognition, the moment that you get that dream job or whatever it is, that dream opportunity that you've been waiting for, because once you get it, everything that they did to try to stop you backfires completely. Because some of y'all, these people have put you in such a position where a lot of people don't even want to associate with you because of the things that they were told about you. But somebody believes in you right now. Somebody believes in you, and they're going to give you the opportunity of a lifetime. And when people find out about it and they see how great and successful you are, and they're going to be mad at those people who lied about you. Because they're like, so you're telling me that none of the stuff that you told me was true? Yeah, those people are in big trouble. Because now they can't hide their jealousy. Because these people do all this stuff out of pure jealousy. You have to understand that. They hate how great you are. You're a great and wonderful person. But I love you guys. It's your girl K Divine, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.